Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Today we're going to sort of go back to what we worked on the other day in the video, and we are also going to do some flower pieces. But it was so interesting. I had one of my subscribers comment about needing a bottle like this to get the resin into this piece. Do you remember this? This is the one we worked on the other day, and I had used this cup here and I managed somewhat successfully to get the resin into these pieces. I also tried the pipette. That went south. So far it wasn't even funny. Have you ever noticed when you do something at the time you can't come up with ideas and what to use? And one of my subscribers had commented about using one of these bottles, and I thought, I have bottles like this. So it's one of those moments of I didn't think far enough ahead, but I wanted to give this a go. We're going to be working with ceramic resin today because that's what I want to make my flowers out of. And this may be a bit of a chopped up video because I might have to run and get some other things, but I wanted to give this a go. Now what I've done is I've got 4 colors I want to work on for my flowers, and I've got a bunch of different molds, so we'll have a look at those in a moment. But what I want to do first is I want to mix up, and I've got 20 ml of the ceramic resin. We're going to hopefully do a couple of colors. I've got 2 bottles because I want to have, I'm going to do the ring part as well as the piece that goes on top. I feel pretty confident in being able to use the ceramic resin in this, even though it's fairly small. And we'll just let them set up for, an hour, or 2 or whatever. And then we'll see how much easier it is. Now, I have a container of water to the side here because we all know with ceramic resin that it sets up pretty quickly, and I want to attempt to be able to reuse these again, but I also know I have to make sure that it doesn't get clogged up in the top of this. So we're going to have to work somewhat quickly, and I'm going to take this little piece off because I don't need it and I don't want it getting in my way. And the other thing is, people have used these for resin. I actually have a UV resin bottle over here. I've had UV resin in this thing for a while, and it might still be good. Anyway, if you were to use resin, I was thinking, how could we save these nozzles? And the only thing that came to my mind was to soak it in isopropyl alcohol and hopefully clear it out that way, and maybe use a needle to clean it out. But there may be cases where you end up having to throw them out because you can't get them clean. Like, how would you ever, well, I shouldn't say that. Yes, again, if you put isopropyl alcohol in these, you might be able to clean them out sufficiently to use them again. I don't know, because I haven't really used them in that regard. And the other thing that sort of came to mind was, well, if we mixed up some ceramic resin and colored it in here, then we could actually, instead of trying to just pour another color on top of a color or mix another color in, we would actually have the potential of, okay, I've got color A in here, color B in here, and then taking this and sort of like getting it right down into it to sort of get color in it. So we're going to have to play a little bit. I haven't done this. So we're doing this together. And if you've done it, great. I hope you've been very successful with it. And I guess I'm going to find out whether or not I can be successful doing it or not. So let me just get some of these other molds out of the way, and we'll come back to them. I just need to clean up. Let's see where my camera is battery-wise. Just want to clean that up. Okay. And then we'll talk about the flower molds in a moment once we've because I want to be able to put this off to the side. And I hadn't really thought about doing this, but then I thought, well, why not? Let's just do a sort of updated video so people can see. And if you find this isn't going to be helpful to you, then by all means, skip on past. And if you're just wanting to watch because you just want to watch, then hey, great. Welcome along for the ride. That is such a neon pink. I always like taking these off because you don't want them falling into your product. I got to clean those out. Mix our colors up. I'm using the Jdiction Resin Crete pigments. I decided to switch it up for this video. All right. So I'm trying to think what colors. I almost want something that's going to be really vibrant. Let's do the yellow and green for these two and see what happens. Now we're going to have to be careful when we take these out. So these are going to have to sit, I think, a little bit longer. And is it a good idea to make a resin crete ring? Well, I don't know, but I'm going to do it anyways just because I can. It's one of those things, have everything organized. Now, I think somewhere in my world, and I don't know where it is, because pouring it in here is not going to be a walk in the park, is it? Trying to think. I know I have somewhere. Isn't that really great? I don't. So I'm going to put you on a bit of a pause because I hadn't thought about that. Now what I could do, get my arm out of the way. I wonder how carefully I can pour that in. You know what? Let's give it a go, and hopefully I don't mess this up too badly. I'm gonna have to do this too because I'm gonna have to mix it up. And we can always add a little bit more water if we need to. I have some off to the side. I hadn't really thought, obviously I hadn't thought about how am I ever going to get that into the container. Now we will put some of that in here because we've got to mix it. And I have no idea how far this 20 mils is going to take me. So 3 drops of that. Oops. A lot more drops than that in that one. Oops. Okay. Off. Okay, I'm going to have to add a little bit more water into here because this is starting to set up just a tiny little bit. Just drop off. Come on. I probably have too much of that in there. Yeah, that's quite watery now. Just let me get a little bit more of the mix to mold. Now I'm getting powder everywhere. Okay, I won't put any more in. We'll have, hopefully this will set up. Won't waste time cleaning that off. Put that over there so I can use it again. This up again. Trying to make sure I don't knock anything on the ground. So these work well pouring into these, which is brilliant. quick put our lids on. All right, so let's just see how this works out for us. Hopefully I'm in camera there. Now, it might be better just to do one color at a time, especially in this stuff. That's a little high, but we can easily sand that down, can't we? So this is working really well. This is a much better way. Let's just get this into one of these rings. Pour the rest in. So this does work very well. A lot easier. Okay, I got a lot of this. I think I'm going to bring one of my flower molds over here. But yeah, yes, wouldn't this have been a lot easier, even with the resin, to have done this the other day? Do another one. This definitely works easier, people. All right, I don't think I need any more than that. Okay, so let's just get the rest of this poured into this little flower here. Okay, we're going to soak both of those in there because I really would like to I don't want to waste it. That's why I'm sort of going off onto one of the flowers now. Two of the flowers, because we don't want to waste this, right? Alright, so I'm just going to make sure, it's more the nozzle part I want to make sure I can get cleaned out of here. Don't you just love when you're trying to fill up bottles with water? I know what I'm doing wrong here. So I may have to, again, sort of take a bit of a break here and go and clean out. But that was much easier. Okay, so if you have those little bottles, I am going to recommend that you use them. Let's just see if I can pop this one. It's got a little bit more in it than it needs. Everything off to the side. Oops. Okay, like that. I'll have to add some more to that one. We will just put this one over the side because I'm going to want to put more in it, and we're going to very carefully move these off too. And now hopefully the yellow will set up. I'm really hopeful on that. I know it was kind of liquidy, but hopefully they'll set up okay. I'm not concerned about the green. And then we'll have to be very careful when we take them out. I'm not so concerned about the pieces that go in the top. It's more so the, and let's just take this and move it up against it. It's, as I say, this little piece here needs a little bit of extra support, I find. It just isn't completely, like it doesn't sit completely straight. I think if they made it a little bit wider, it might have been better. So let's just put that there. Okay, I am going to take a moment And yeah, because I do want to get these cleaned out, these bottles. And they're not really taking in the water really well. You always need to have that little space of air so you can get it in. But I definitely want to be able to use these bottles again. So that's why I'm... Okay. If you will give me a moment of your time, I am just going to take these, let them soak somewhere else, and then we will be back. I have returned, and I managed to get things pretty decently cleaned out, so we can reuse them again. I'll just wipe these. Should have wiped these out of the water. But anyway, yeah, I managed to get them pretty decently cleaned out. Yeah. So hopefully, I think with the Mix-to-Mold, well, the ceramic resin, Mix-to-Mold's the brand I'm using today. I still have some of the Alumilite that I'm looking at, thinking you got to finish using that up. I had actually gone to Michael's and picked up there were 2 of the big 5-pound containers. I've actually got one of them and may purchase the other one they've got there. Again, they're not selling it anymore. It's just they had some left over, so it's just sitting on a shelf. And fortunately, I was able to get 30% off because Michael's, right now anyway, I don't know for how long, is offering in-store coupons now as well as online. So I thought, what the heck, pick it up. All right, so I got my containers cleaned. I'm ready to start again. So let's talk a little bit about the molds that I want to use. I'm not sure. This one here is one I made. It's a really cute little flower mold meant to be a hanger, but I'm not sure I want to put Mix-to-Mold in this, but so we'll see about this one. I'm getting really bad glare on that. There you go. Oh, it's like, where do I put this silly thing? Anyways, there is a flower in there. There, can you see? Wow, what the light is doing to that one. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Anyways, you get the idea. There's a flower in there. So, let's put that one off to the side right now. I kind of like to do some that are deeper. These ones, I'm trying to think, where did I pick these ones up? I don't know if I got these off of Amazon or not. I'm kind of thinking I did. And I think there were 6 of them. And I don't know about anybody else, but I have too many containers of silicone molds that I just can't find anything anymore. I'd kind of gotten them organized and then disorganized them all over again. So anyway, we'll probably do this one. And then I have, these are Let's Resin, and they're fairly deep. And I've gotten some, this one's really pretty, some good flowers out of these. Now, what I did was, I've always struggled with how much resin to use, how much of the ceramic resin to use. Even polyurethane gives me a run for my money. And someone had commented a few videos back about filling them with water. So what I had kind of done with the ceramic resin anyway was these take about 50 mils of water. I had thought that if I did 150 of the ceramic resin that it would be too much, but I then did an experiment, was it with the bird? Might have been with the bird, and the big one, not the small ones that I did. I thought, okay, well, if you're holding 50 mils of water, then let's do 150. And I actually had enough for the bird plus a bit left over. So I'm sort of running that theory today with these two anyway. They hold about 50 each. I've got 150 of the Mix-to-Mold to put into these, and we'll just see how close we come, because I just thought there's got to be a way, because all the molds are different, and it's frustrating for me. And I know people have talked about putting rice in them, and I just think rice is messy. And if you're dealing with pieces like this, then you got to get the rice out of them, and on and on we go. For some reason, I'm thinking salt. Somebody had used salt, but I'm not sure about that. But the water is really the easiest. So I'm sort of playing around to figure out, what the best way is to go. So those two molds. And then I have some others that I made again. So they're matte. This one's a matte one. So we have this. I'm trying, oh darn it, there we go. And then this one. And then I have, this one's really pretty. This one I recently got from Temu. I know you're all going to want, I'll do my best to list the different places I've got them. I'm just not sure how to mark them, so you know. But anyway, that one's really pretty. And the mix to mold will work in this one. You just have to let it sit longer. And when you take it out, just be very careful, because it's got, like we know with the ceramic resin, that you got to be really careful when you're taking pieces out. I've been able to do ceramic resin in this one. You just got to be really careful when you're taking it out. Now this one, I've done ceramic resin in it, but you have to be very careful with the petal that's on this side of it. This is one of those that you should leave for probably a couple hours, not just an hour. And you really, we have to be careful when we take this one out, because I made one a few days ago and I actually broke off this, and some people may be able to put these back together really quickly and easily. I can't, so I just would rather be really careful taking them out. So we're going to see where we end up with all of this. I am going to, for the first one, I am going to use the pink and the blue. I think what I'm going to do as well, now my table is definitely too full, is I'm going to do one color as such in the container, so here, but I'm going to make some up to put into one of these bottles, and we're going to do the whole, let's see if we can't get it dispersed, the other color dispersed somehow, either within the container here, or we, sort of fill this almost up, and then we see how we can disperse it. See what we can do, right? Like, this is the only way we're going to figure this out. I'm going to figure it out, and then I'm going to try and remember for future. So I just want to move everything out of the way again. Those are the two colors I want. We'll fill, can you see they have this one over here? We're going to fill up with something or other. No, don't do that, Natalie. I just need to get organized. Yeah, this one's really pretty. You know how you have those molds and you just go, that's a really, really cool flower or whatnot. Just trying to get some of the stuff off of these. Alrighty. So we only really need one bottle. I'm just brain thinking right now. That could take a while. I should almost put myself on pause for that. One of these. Actually, you know what we want? We want, would you believe it? I don't have it. So I'll have to not deal. I have both of my mixers in the other room. Didn't even think about that. So we won't worry about that. We'll just, actually we will. I'll be back in a second. I guess if we're going to do this, we do it right. We have all the tools that we need to have. All right. So which one will we start with? Maybe what we'll do is we'll do that. We'll do this one first because I really like this one. That there, I just need one of these so I can pour some of the other color. I think we'll make this blue and then we'll just mix up some of the pink. And the other thing I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to bring the green one back up here. Oops, as I broke it. So when I lifted that up, I actually broke it. So we'll see how it, how that plays out. But we're just going to pour some of this on top of it anyway. And while I'm waiting for this to dry, I am going to go out and start planting my vegetable garden. We're a little late getting it done. We've had rain on the weekends when my husband's been home. and we haven't been able to get it done. It's been cool here. I don't know what today's going to bring from a weather, like a temperature perspective. We're supposed to get storms, but from a, like, it's been cooler than what I would expect it to be. And yeah, it's just been, again, weird weather. So I thought he's not going to be home until Friday, which is tomorrow, but I'm making this video ahead of time. But anyways, he's not going to be home until Friday. So I thought I got to get out and get our garden planted. And I can remember doing it when I was a child, and my dad was very particular about how the garden got planted, and all the rows were extremely straight, whereas our rows are anything but straight. So I'm going to see if I can't sort of get some straightness going on in my life in the garden this year, and leave enough room between the rows that I can get a rototiller down through it. We always end up with a ton of weeds in our vegetable garden, which drives me, yeah, a little crazy. So since I have that, I'm going to throw you in there. I am going to put my blue in. Yeah, darn it, this thing's, this is one of the ones that's stuck. So I'm going to recommend you always have a pin nearby, because this stuff dries up and then you get flakes in it. And I think I've had issues with this blue one before. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, this isn't going well. It's almost like it's, yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. And I'm going to get stuff all over my hands, which I don't want to do. Yeah. I definitely don't want that on the floor. Let's see if that works. Ugh, now I've just got it. It's coming out like a paste almost. Oh, this might be a bit of a disaster. I guess I should have checked that before. So good to know, like, double check your stuff before you use it, because I'm not doing this every day, so, or using all the colors. And that's one of the drawbacks. I've got all kinds of different brands, and if you're not using them, then I'm going to highly recommend that you check your bottles before you start working, just so you don't waste time and potentially end up, wasting your product. Oh, you know what I did? You goof. Oh, yeah. I know what I did. So, not to fail. I got a plan. I don't know how this is going to turn out for me, but I have a plan. You know what I did, right? You know exactly what I did. Too funny. All right. I don't know what this is going to do. So what we're going to do is we're very carefully going to, when I put them, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to pour a little bit of this in here. Oh, I can't believe I did that. I can believe that. We're going to take some of this pink now. Hopefully this comes out better than the blue did. So my bad for not double checking yeah. So we'll make a purple. And yes, I'm going to have to add some water to this, because this is starting to thicken up. Here, I'm just going to do this. So I want to have more control over this than I did the last time. So yes, for sure. Make sure that you're, yeah. You're all organized. You got it all under control. Because if you're gonna, yeah, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Too funny. So I need to do this again because I don't know if it's no good. It's sort of setting up a little bit, but it's not bad. And I'm getting some streaks of the blue in it because of what came out of the bottle. I do like having this little dish of water beside me. That's completely handy. So we're just going to very carefully pour some of this in here. There we go. And we'll let that do what it may. So we're going to take some of this now, this purple, and I'm going to put this down and see if I can't so I can see it, so that's good. I need to move this very carefully off to the side. All right, so let's start pouring this. Maybe we'll put a little bit of the purple on the very bottom. Now we know it's going to get moved around. I appreciate that. So that's what it looks like. Let's just see. And I do pour it slowly. And we'll bop it around. So we're getting kind of a pretty color. Now these, yeah, the pink would have been better. Okay, let's just do that. We may have enough for a couple of these. And I'm not going to fill this right up to the top, so that's sufficient for me. That'll do good for that. So we do have quite a bit left, both of them. And again, I'm going to put this right inside, and I'm putting the nozzle right down into the blue, and I'm just squeezing it out. That's all I'm doing. So you're getting both, which is kind of cool. I hadn't thought about doing that, and it should work with resin as well, right? And I do move it around just because I want to get it in all the crevices. Okay, and the nice thing is we can just spurt some of that purple in it as well. It's not, well, it's purple. Purple pink, right? I'll leave that one like that. And I don't know, let's just see about if that makes any difference in the grand scheme of things. All right, so we still have some left over. Put that one back here. I'm going to do this one next, and I'm just going to take this purple and just spritz it in there because I'm probably getting it thick now, right? I still got lots of this left. And then I really didn't plan on making this many in this color. All right, so we still have some left. Okay. So we'll maybe just fill this one up. And then we're going to take the rest of this purple and we're going to spritz it in. Okay. Okay, wow, I really didn't think that would do that much. Little goes a long way, eh? Yeah, can you, am I in view? Yeah, sort of. I'm just going to move that up a little bit. So we'll just take it and we'll just sort of run this around. I don't know what this is going to do. I have no idea if this is going to... All right, so what we're going to do is the rest of this, I'm just going to pour this out because I think I might be starting to get it setting up in here, which we don't want. There we go. Wow, that went a long way, people. I seriously did not think that would go as far as it did. So, brilliant, eh? I don't mind that it did. I didn't expect it to go that far. So at least I know. And it's going to be interesting, too, to see how this all works out with doing it the way we did it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a couple more of the flowers. I'll make up this one and obviously use less. It's interesting too. So I'm jumping around here a little bit. I'm noticing with the rings that because this is contracting, I'm thinking, yeah, and noticing it here too, that as this is drying up, that it's contracting so that it's not as full as it was when we first filled it up. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I'm almost wondering, would I be best off putting just clear UV resin on the top of this, because we know that resin will stick to the ceramic resin, just so that I make sure that when we pull it out, we don't have, like I did with the gold rings, where I had that space. So I might have to put something on this. And even at the top of these have gone down. Like, I mean, I was concerned because they were overflowing a little bit, but now they have, you know, receded a bit. So I might have to, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I have to give that some thought. Because I'll do this so you can see it, because this is a really pretty flower as well. And I do need to get a little bit more in here. So I'm just going to go and play a little bit now, and then I'll bring you back. But we've tried some different ideas. I like the idea of being able to use that needle nose, this, so we can get some design. Hopefully, fingers crossed, like this one here, I don't want to move it, but it's got some almost like cells in it. If you've ever done a paint pour, you'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to cells. So this one might be kind of curious. I'm going to be curious to know how it works when we've used that to sort of infuse the color we've already put. So that's kind of a neat idea. I like that. I don't know if anyone else has done it before, and you know, it's very possible that someone has, and I just haven't seen a video with that, but that's kind of cool. So tips right now to remember, always, 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 and this is for me especially, so I'm hoping to ingrain it in my brain, to make sure that these bottles will spritz out what you want them to, especially if you've got lots and you're not using them all the time. So that's very important. I would recommend having something beside you, especially if you're using these bottles, so that you can get your bottles into water so that they don't set up and you end up having to throw out the bottle. For these, and I'll just bring, I'll use this one as an example. So for these guys, I used one of my mini micro brushes to help sort of clean that out. And once it was decently cleaned, I put fresh water into the bottle and then squirted it out of this, and that worked. How that's going to work with resin, yeah, I don't know because I haven't tried it. So that's something that I'm going to have to see about moving forward, how easily it is to clean that out if you use resin. And if anyone's got some suggestions, please throw them in the comments below. But yes, so this is where we're at. I'm going to make up some more of the ceramic resin. I will pour the last 2 flowers. I'm going to remeasure out because when we think about it, I had 150 mils of the ceramic resin, and I did this, that filled up, some in there. So if I'm going to use all of that, then I'm seriously going to have more things to pour it into, which is completely doable because I've got it. Anyway, we will come back once this is all ready to take out of their molds. Probably going to let them sit for about, I'm going to say 2 hours, just to be on the safe side. And that gives me plenty of time outside with my garden. And then we will see how everything turned out. And if I do anything other crazy things as far as how I'm, using these bottles, I'll let you know. Nothing's coming to the top of my head right now, but yeah, definitely they work well for these small little pieces, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know about the rings. Like that yellow has set down quite a bit. So I may just set it up and yeah. All right. So you got me thinking. Thinking. Anyways, I'll see you shortly. And for me, it'll be a couple hours. These have set a lot longer than I sort of anticipated, but I had good reason for that. And I am a little not sure about some of these pieces, and I feel that perhaps what I needed to do was not put so much water in, or just add a little bit more water once I had my coloring in. And I'm sure there's going to be some of you out there who would have agreed with that or say that's what you should have done in the first place, because some of these were very wet and I found they were taking longer to dry than anticipated. So I want to, for myself, moving forward, be really aware of, like, having the right amount of water, yes, but not using all of it until I've got my coloring in, and then only using it if I need to. So I went a little berserk on what I was doing. The ring pieces, I'm not going to be taking those out right now. I'm going to put it on a pause and then fill these up with UV resin. The yellow definitely needs something, so I want to use some UV resin on it, as do these pieces, because they have shrunk, and a lot. Again, I think part of the problem with that was there was too much water in the yellow, and that's why they shrunk as much as they did. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to take out of the molds, and then I will we'll get those done with resin, specifically the yellow, and then I'll come back and show you what those look like. I also decided to start using the Alumilite blue because I was getting frustrated with the resin crete. Again, I wasn't using this stuff fast enough. I don't put the blame on the product. I put the blame on me not using it fast enough. So I just found this was coming out a lot easier than the resin crete, and I plan on getting rid of the resin crete. I don't know how to use it in a way that is not going to frustrate me, as far as having too much come out at one time. So again, that's I think a really important tip, is to make sure before you use your product that it flows the way you want it to flow. All right, so where are we going to start? This piece, we'll start with this one. This took a long time to dry out. Again, we had yellow in it, and it was just, I think there was too much water in the yellow. So note for myself and for anyone else, just be really aware of, and I know with playing with so many colors that it makes it more of a challenge because you want to make sure things aren't starting to set before you get them poured. And then I just really take my time with these. I feel like I should really have my gloves on so I'm not getting my hands all inked up. So we ended up, we made some extra pieces. I have an idea for my lantern over here, which actually had an issue in and of itself. So This is just one of those videos where things just aren't going the way I have anticipated them to go. Okay. So that's pretty. And again, we know that the color is going to set up more as the water soaks out of it. I like the idea of using these for pins, or you could use them for pendants. If you're daring enough, you could make it into a ring. I'm daring enough. Big and bold works for me. So let's see this one. I'm very curious about the ones where it was sort of syringe-like of the coloring into the piece. And also, I will be washing these out very well so that when I go to use them next time, especially if I decide to do resin, I don't pick up some of the film, if you will, of the powder. I like these really flexible molds, especially for this stuff. Yeah. And there's so much you could do with these as far as, you know, coloring them up. I mean, I see wanting to do some other stuff with these just to make them more vibrant. And I have enough product around that I can do it. But even if you don't, I mean, if you've got paints around and you've got a makeup dabber or whatnot, I mean, you could do lots with these pieces. Now, this is the one I had said to be very careful about. So, fingers crossed I don't break it. And one might think I'd break this or something else, but it was, like I said, it was over here. So we want to be really careful with this. And not break it getting out, because it is a very pretty flower. It's like doing surgery, eh? There we go. There we go. There we go. I love this piece. It is so pretty. It just, and you could almost leave that and not do anything, or you could just highlight in between the leaves for that one. And I see this being on a coat, like making it into a pin that you could put on a coat, because you'd want it. This would be too heavy for just a t-shirt or something, but either a really heavy sweater or a coat. I'm thinking wool coats, just because you don't want anything bulky. You want something flat, but something that's got the ability to hold on to that. So I really like that one. So glad that came out and did not break. So let's do this one. This is one of the ones that was really wet on the top, and I actually did end up soaking a little bit of the water off of it just after I had poured it. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's neat. That's cool. So get more of these out of the way so we can get see what else I've got there. I'm just trying to think of how I can use this really dark blue one. Be very, very careful with them. That's why, as I say before, and I've said it before, I like to just let these guys sit for longer than an hour, because I don't want them to break. And to some people that, you know, you don't need to wait that long, but that's fair if other people don't want to wait, but I wait because I really don't want to break. I mean, I figure if I'm going to spend the time making certain pieces and I don't, you know, I need them for something, then I don't want to run the risk of these breaking, because I'm impatient. So I just take my time. Now, we could really highlight the center of that with a bit of sparkle, or even taking a dark blue or something like that and highlighting the inside of that. I'm thinking markers and dabbing the inside. So I give these ideas only because they come into my mind, and I'm thinking, in case you're not sure, or I just like giving out ideas. So if you don't like the fact that I'm giving out ideas, that's fair, and you might have to skip through some of my video. But if an idea comes to me, I just want to share it with you. This is really pretty. I have some over in the other room that I've done. And I have to admit, like I said, I'm really impressed with this mold and the fact that I've been able to get such a clear design out of it using the ceramic resin. And again, I would work on highlighting various spots of this. I could see this as a magnet. And this will be an easy one to get out. Okay, so this one, we don't have much of anything on this one. I'm trying to think, I must have had leftover or something, and it was just like, let's pour it. So I'll definitely be amping this one up a little bit once it's dry. Let's do this one, because this is to me, this is a really pretty mold as well. Some of the other, I think there are 5 that came with this set from Let's Resin. And some of them just don't float my boat, but there are a couple that they're very pretty. It's kind of cool. There's still, I can't remember the last thing I did in this because it's been a while since I've used it, but I can still see some of the mica powder or whatever that's in it. So I've got a little bit of it showing up on my flower. Oops, yeah, drop it. There's an idea. And these, I've got a bit of heft to them, but once they dry out a little bit more, they'll be cool. That would be too heavy for a magnet. I'm just trying to think. I'm not sure what I would do with that one. There was an idea I came up with. The frogs I've got, and even the turtle, I had wondered about if we did one of these and then put it in the center with clear resin, and then maybe just did sort of the very top of it, or the very last quarter of it, in a color that maybe matches this, or do black or something like that. So that was an idea that had sort of run through my head. These pieces, these were just, again, I had leftover. So I'll probably make these either into earrings or independents, and I'm going to end up doing some more decorating. I got something for the clay, and I'm hoping to be able to do a video for you in the near future, because I've ordered some stuff that is clay related, and I've got some transfer sheets that are kind of actually interesting, and the ones I've got are different than some of the ones I've seen online, but I would like to show them to you. I've been watching some videos on working with clay, because I kind of want to switch things up a little bit. Now, I don't know what happened to this, so hopefully you can see, but this sort of like sunk down, and I'll admit I had to make some extra up because I didn't make enough to fill it properly in the first place, so that might have had something to do with it. But yeah, it sunk in the middle. I was kind of surprised that it had done that, but let's hope. This is a lantern, and some of you may have seen this before. I've done it using resin, because that's sort of the idea behind this, is to do it in resin, a clear resin. I put some foil flakes in it just to have some color, but so you can put a light in the center of this and have it shine out. Now you're thinking, so Natalie, what was the thought process behind this? What's your idea? I had thought, one, I wanted just to make it, because I'm thinking about drilling holes in this and then putting the lights in it, so it's sort of almost like a strobe light, if you will, and you would only see out through the hole. So that was kind of where I went with this. Whether that's a good idea or not, well, we'll find out. but I thought it would be kind of cool to do, and I'm not sure this is going to come out the color I was hoping for. So bear with me as I roll down the sides of this. And again, all of these are going to have to be like washed out really well. And when I got this, where did I buy these? I might have got, I'm not sure if I got them off of Amazon or not, but you got 2 of them. There were 2 in the set. All right, so there we have that. And so in drilling through this, I'm going to have to be really well aware of not going into where the lid goes into it, right? Where it screws in. And it was funny because after I got that done, I'm thinking to myself, well, Natalie, how are you going to get that out without breaking it? And very good question. We're going to find it if I can without breaking it. This video was meant to be sort of like a simple little video on flowers and what have you. And yeah, so I foresee this one, obviously I'm going to have to sand down the bottom and fix that up. I would probably put resin on the bottom of that once I get it cleaned up. And then I'll see what kind of coloring I get out of this. It's not floating my boat right now at all. It really didn't do what I had hoped, and I'm getting stuff from my hands onto it, which isn't practical or very good or helpful. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing something with this, I think, because it's, yeah, that definitely didn't come. And if you're wanting to know how much I had to use, oh, now I have to go back and think. I did 50, 210, about 240, 250 just for this piece. Okay, so it's going to take a lot more than what I expected it to take, but so let's, I really hope I can get this out without breaking it. So fingers crossed, right? You just got to get it rolling, right? And I shouldn't be pushing on the top, like the very top of that. Patience, right? Patience, patience, patience. Okay. Patience, patience, patience. Okay. This is where I'm going to get scared now. Hopefully it won't. I'm just, oh, yes. Well done, Natalie. I won't ever do that again, mind you, but well done on my part. All right. So this, I think, might have a somewhat of an interesting design on it. Okay, so now what we need to see, it should, I don't know why it wouldn't, sort of be able to screw itself down into it. Now, what I do see as a potential problem, yeah, I won't do that, is as the water evaporates out of this, whether or not that's going to mess with that lid being able to screw into it. So I'll have to let you know about that. Yeah, I'm not going to lift it up by there. But yeah, I seriously have to, I do not like this at all. I don't even think once the color starts coming through that I'm going to like it. Damn it. I'm marking it up. So here's where I question whether or not YouTube's going to take the darn it out of there. And there was another term I used this earlier in the video, and yes. Anyway, yeah, I don't like that at all. But anyway. Right, so I'll have to play with all of these things and get them done up the way I want. And then I will, like I try to do, I'll put them on my Facebook page, or I will show them to you in the next video when I get that done, so you can see some of what I'm doing, maybe give you some ideas. But this, let's see, if I had to pick a fave, I actually think it would have to be this one, just because of how the coloring worked on that. I think that looks kind of cool. So I would have to say that's my fave. I love that this one came out and didn't get broken, so that's really cool. And I think the other ones, I am just going to play with them for a little bit to see if I can't make them a little more exciting than what they are right now. I actually was out and picked up some more napkins. They had some really pretty ones at the grocery store. So might I use on something? I'm not 100% sure. But we'll let these dry out. We'll see how they look, and then I'll be able to process from there what I want to do. Now, I'm going to zip away. I'm going to get some UV resin because I don't want this video to be too long. And I'm going to fill these in. I don't know that I have to do the green. I'll have to put my other glasses on. Anyways, I'll put some UV resin into this stuff. We'll come back. We'll take this stuff out once it's dealt with, and we'll see how the rings turned out. So I'll see you in a little bit. I'm ready to take these out now. I did two of the... I had to do the yellow. I had no choice. The yellow neither. I would have had an issue with it. So I did the yellow. I did the first green one, and I left the second green one alone. So we'll do those first. These seriously had gone down quite a bit, which I don't know. Maybe that shouldn't surprise me because of the amount of water in it. So let's hopefully, we'll start with this one because it doesn't have anything on it. And let's, there we go. So we have an air bubble there, but that's fine. We can deal with that. Yeah. Okay. So we have that one. Little air bubble, but it's not broken open, so that's good. So there's that one, which actually the resin does a nice job on that. I think I got enough on it. You could have put a little, yeah, I probably could have put a little bit more on that one. Let's get this that way. Okay, I'm going to take these all out, and then I will take my gloves off. I'm going to put these under the UV lamp again. It did enough to set it up for now, but I want to put these under for a longer period of time. And I might have to clean up these pieces a little bit. Yeah, because the UV resin got underneath, which, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That one's still wet. Now, tell me how much fun I'm going to have cleaning these things out. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because these may be one of those things that you don't want to use the ceramic resin for. Yeah, this one's wet too. Yes. Oh, it's wet. I don't know if you can see the yellow on that, but yes, wet. So definitely have to get those clean. Oh. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because this is not set, normally resin will stick to ceramic resin. That came right off. It's because it's not, the ceramic resin isn't set enough. It's still wet. So, yep, that didn't work. I wonder if these other three did. You know what I'm going to do? Before I even attempt, I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that back on. That one definitely needs to dry up. So let's put these under the UV light. And let me get my gloves off. Let's get a new pair. Let's just do this the easy way, right? So let's put this back out and on these. Yeah, I think if they had set up better, I would have been okay. And if yeah, they were too wet. I know that yellow was too wet. Okay, let's just put that on for 90 seconds. So have you got a favorite? I'm going to throw that, might as well throw that under there, right, too? Have you got a favorite when it comes to the flowers? Anything jumping out at you? Any ideas while we're waiting for that to get hopefully set up? If these had turned out, yeah, I could see. Not, you know, gonna sort of throw that off to the side just yet, because there is potential to make them into rings. I don't know, as I said, and try and balance it, but if we did it right, I would do resin. If I were going to do this into a ring, I'd do resin, but there's no saying that wouldn't work. And you just make sure you bond it on there really, really well with resin to make sure that it doesn't come apart. But I don't know why you couldn't. So now my brain's going, but that's okay. But yeah, I don't see why you couldn't make it into a ring. Any of them. All right, now I wonder, I want to work with the ones that, is that one of the wet ones? That one feels somewhat dry. That one is, I think it's just this round one that wasn't dry, so I'm just going to put the round one off to the side. I don't want to touch the resin. I want to just sort of leave it now. But let's see about putting these together, just so we can have a look. Be really careful with them, eh? Got a few edges on this. Dun dun dun. I need these. Just want to clip these edges off so I can get it on. These are perfect. These side clippers, these are really cool. I've used them for so many different things. All right, let's see. I would guess it should go like that. There you go. Definitely have to see, like that. Okay. So yes, it is doable to use ceramic resin for these. I'm not sure I'll do it again, but yep, it's doable. Let's see about this other one. I can't remember. I think it goes that way. There we go. So yes, you definitely could do ceramic resin in the rings. You would want to, one, make darn sure that your ceramic resin isn't too runny, so that you don't have it sinking down into the mold like mine did, but you definitely could do it. And I do highly recommend, if you're going to do it, that you use one of these needle nose bottles because that worked really well. And these are easy enough to clean. Again, I don't know about resin, but this was really easy to clean. But, you know, it does look kind of cool. I might have to play with that just a little bit more. And I kind of like that's got a matte finish to it versus being like shiny. Not bad. I'm starting to like it more. Yeah. I won't force it on my finger, but there we have it. I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's going to be too big for that. Well, not too. But these definitely have to dry up. But yeah, so that doesn't look too bad, eh? So maybe a little bit of resin and then leave the rest of it. But definitely, again, I think I mentioned this, I would secure that in there with either some sort of epoxy, some sort of something or other, because these will pop out too easily. I found that. So if you're going to do them, make sure you secure them in somehow. And you could even make, no, that's not going to work. You'd have to use resin on these because I've got resin on the bottom of them. Anyway, we're going to let these sit and set up. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, I don't have my glasses on, so now I can't see anything. Oh, I'm done. This video's done. Anyway, I had fun doing it. And I definitely have some additional work to do for some of these pieces because they don't look anything like I want them to look. And I am potentially going to look at, I'm scratching that one up, look at making one of these into a ring. It's big, but again, that's my style. I like things that, you know, that are big. So there you have it. And just as an FYI, in case you're at all interested, my garden is planted. I got that done while I was waiting for all of this stuff to dry up. And yeah, all my husband has to do now when he gets home is go get things like cauliflower or broccoli and tomatoes and plant them in the one corner of the garden I left for him. And we are good to go. We should see vegetables in the next couple of months. Yep. Anyway, you don't need to see me sort of staring at things and trying to figure out my life. That's it. That's all for this video. I hope you found it useful. Again, I always like to think that I'm giving you helpful tips, what not to do, so you don't do the same things I do. But sometimes you truly have to just play in order to figure out what is and what is not going to work. And you learn. You learn as you go. And hopefully you're better than I am sometimes and you remember so you don't do the same thing again. But I'm going to obviously let this one do its thing. And once I have it done, and I'll let you know about the drilling process, because I think it'd be cool to put lights in there anyway, and then having them shine out. Or, you know, maybe something else comes to mind with that piece. But you could use it as a potpourri. You could do that too. So enough chit chat. Have a great day. Be creative, play, experiment, and see what you can come up with. Take care and bye for now.